in the throat. We are live. Yes, yes, yes. Good morning, South Florida. Hello, world. I am Robert Henderson Jr., President, founder, CEO of the Henderson Financial Group. And we're located here in lovely, lovely, lovely South Florida. And joining me live here, my beautiful brother, my brother from another mother, Mr. James Thomas. How you doing, Mr. Thomas?
I am doing well. I am doing well. Broadcasting from our studios, our new studios in Delray Beach, Florida. If you've ever been to South Florida and you have not visited Delray Beach, you've missed out on a treat. So anyway, at Kingdom Studios, Delray Beach. What's up, Mr. Henderson?
Good, good. Man, that studio looking good, man. You got it all fired up, ready. We ready.
Hey, Rob, when you see the finished product, it's going to be outstanding. It's outstanding. But I just wanted to make sure I was here. My grandmother used to have a favorite saying. I grew up during a time when if you didn't have a pump or indoor water, you had to go to the well, right? So she would say, you never go to the well without a bucket or a dipper. So my thing is, if you're going to expect God to do something awesome, you should be prepared for something beyond what you can ask, think, or imagine. So
Oh
the
man.
preparation. Come on, Rob. You don't go to the bank with nothing in it, because you're not really borrowing, you're begging.
Yeah, that's true.
If you
That's
don't
true.
have any money, as a matter of fact, and if you're not taking it out to put it in something that's going to give you a greater return, then you haven't listened to Robert Henderson of the Henderson Financial Group.
That's true, man. That's true. I was talking to a minister, man. He said he wants me to come and talk to his board because he knows that they're not handling the money right. He says they're taking the money and just putting it in the bank and not really getting the return. I said, well, boy, the spirit has moved you to talk to me.
Hey, say you've been touched by the Lord.
Yeah, man. Wake up,
Wake
man.
up,
I mean,
wake up,
anytime,
wake up.
you got to do better about your money. Anytime you're blessed with something, man, it's something for you to do with it. You can't take a blessing and not do anything with it. You can't, because you lose it. And a lot of us are blessed.
Rob, it's so true. As a matter of fact, I can't remember the year I built this studio, but I mean, it's been years. We broadcast. As a matter of fact, the first person that ever broadcast from Kingdom Studios, believe it or not, was Al Sharpton.
Wow.
Al Sharpton had spoke in, I think it was Port St. Lucie, Stewart area, or Fort Pierce, up in that area. And he spoke obviously at a church, and I think it was Pastor Williams or Bishop Williams contact Larry Lee, who's a state representative, and said, hey, man, is there a studio that we have? And Larry said, I know of a friend that has a studio. So they came to our studios, and of course, he sent it to New York, and New York dispersed it all over the country. So that was before I ever even broadcast from it. But since then, we've done Atlanta, Valdosta, matter of fact, Port St. Lucie, Fort Pierce area. So we've been some of everywhere. So hey, now we're about to do as what was the saying? Going where no man has ever gone before.
Star Trek.
Hey,
I love it.
we're gonna combine Star Trek and the Matrix. Oh, and Rob, I've gotten great compliments from people who checked out the program last week with the sister from Warner Robins, and
Oh yeah.
people saying, "Hey, they're going to put that on their list of places to visit." So that's a beautiful thing. And one of the things before, as we have our hopefully our guest check in with us today, it's Black History Month, and you're seeing it everywhere. Everybody is stepping up with Black History Month. But when I was programming, I always wanted people to recognize that wait, there are certain people that are worldwide or nationally known. But Rob, you and I know that there are certain people who made the difference in the lives of so many, particularly in the Black community, long before the Black community could go to other communities to meet their needs.
Wow. That's
And
right.
so we should say their names. I'm going to a celebration today of a gentleman who was one of the first councilmen here in Delray Beach, Mr. Dave Randolph. And man, they did an awful lot because the community needed leaders, at least on the commission and on these boards, that would speak to the needs of our community. And you and I know that there were times that everything that we needed, we provided. And then all of a sudden, now we still have the needs, but we provide very little. So for those people who Dorsey, last week I was even going to bring up Dorsey's. I think it's Dana Dorsey. This
Okay.
was a brother that owned Fisher Island, owned
Wow.
it
Oh
in
wow.
Miami.
The
Now,
whole island.
hey, Rob, what's in your hand, Moses? Come on, a person. But look at what Fisher Island is today in Miami, which was owned by a black man at one time.
Yeah. Yeah. I got a client who's the captain of the ferry to take you over to Fisher Island. Well, there's all, you have to be a guest, you have to be invited, and you can't get to that island unless you go on the ferry. And a client of mine who's been the captain for that ferry for over 20 something years, he tells me how wonderful and expensive the homes are and the condos. I mean, it's amazing. But Fisher Island definitely was once owned by a black man. James, I want to address a few things. I want to address today's show on. One of them I want to talk about the four most important financial questions that all of us need to know the answers to. Okay, we're going to talk about that. There are the four most important financial questions and the answers to those questions that all of us need to know. So we're going to talk about that. Also, I want to talk about IULs, Index Universal Life Insurance, the concept briefly. But I want to start off because, James, a lot of people, since this new administration has came about in 2025, there's a lot of people that are fearful. There's a lot of people who are afraid of the unknown. A lot of people are, and you hear a lot of rumors, things this going to happen, that going to happen, and it's all on fear. And people ask me, what do I think? And I'm at ease, I'm at peace, because if you are, and you believe in your heart that you are with the Father, the creator of the heavens and earth, then you know that your Father will protect you and you're going to be okay. Now, if you don't have that mindset and you just out here all alone and you're not tied to anything, you don't have a belief, they're not going to understand why you're afraid. You're running without belonging to nothing, no type of moral values or anything. So you can be afraid. I understand that. But if you're doing the right thing, fear not, because fear is not from the Father. It's from the other person, the other source, the other darkness, the darkness. So I'm feeling pretty good about this year and what's going to happen. A lot of times, and I want you all to look at it metaphorically. When you're watching a movie, and what I call a good movie is a movie that when it comes on in the first 3 minutes, you can't figure out the plot. You don't really know what's going to happen. That's a good movie. A movie that at the end you go, aha, now I see what happened. Now I see why. Good movies are always mystery. They really fool the audience. They really fool, because the writer of it writes it in such a way where it looks like it's going this way, but actually it's going that way. You follow me? And I want to say to you all, this movie, this living movie, this life thing called life that we're living in, when everybody is saying it's going this way, the script writer is so good, man, because life is good. I promise you, don't be fooled. It looks like this, but it always turn out to be that. And you say, man, that was a good movie because you couldn't figure it out. I want to see that again because I thought I was down and out. I thought this was gonna happen. I swore that he did it and she did it, and before I found out it wasn't them at all. It was him. You know what I mean? So you never know how, and that's where we are right now. I'm telling you, you have to look at life in its totality and stop going for the head fake, man. Stop going for the obvious. Stop going for the cheese because it's in the middle of the floor. No, it's a setup. Don't believe that. 95% of the people, I'm going to say this now, 95 out of 100% of people, 95% of people are always wrong. In fact, out of 100 people, 95 of them are not rich, wealthy, and happy. 95 of them follow the crowd. Only 5% of them don't follow the crowd. They don't think the same way they think. So you don't want to be a 95%. You want to change and think differently. When it looks like this, I'm telling you, it's always that. So don't be afraid. All you got to do is get yourself together, get your financial house in order, love, share, peace, help, serve, love yourself, and you love others, and do all that you can do. Because right now, man, it ain't no time to be no slouch. It's time to do and be all that you could be. That's what time it is. That's what we live in. Right now, we live in a time of being all that you could be, that God has had for you. Let church say amen. Is that right, James?
Amen. Rob, I agree. And we've been telling everyone to prepare. And even if you are not prepared yet, it's still time to prepare.
Yes, it is always time. TIME. So I want to say good morning to Islam and Tracy and Mr. and Mrs. Redhead and Parnell Victor. Parnell, I'll see you later on, brother. I got a full day today because I've been out of town since Tuesday. I've been in Atlanta at workshops from morning to night. So I'm back now. Brandon Brown, good morning. Damian Nelson, good morning, y'all. The Super Bowl weekend, they asked me who would I think gonna win. I don't even think about who gonna win.
Hey, whoever plays wins. Hey, Rob, I was speaking with my brother in Tallahassee, and he was discussing how he felt about the two teams playing. And I said, they're both winners. Now only one is going to win this game, but look at all those 24 others that they didn't even make it to the Super Bowl. So, hey, you're a winner. I think the Impressions did that. You're a winner. Everybody. Hey, and for those who are listening today, you too are a winner, because this is going to be an opportunity for you to find those 4 questions that Rob has that we should all have the answer to.
That's right. Right, Tracy. Right, Tracy. What's up, Tracy? What's up, brother? I see you too, Tracy. Okay, so first, ask yourself, do you know the answers to the 4 most important financial questions that we all should know? Now, the first question is, do you know the rate of return you should be earning on your savings and investments? Do you know? Do you know? Do you know the rate of return, how much you should be getting on your money in order for the money that you're saving and investing to keep up time 10 years from now, 20 years, to be equivalent, to have muscles? Because your money got to work now. See, you can't take money like that. Like the minister said, he wanted me to come talk to his church because they take and put money in the bank. When you put money in the bank, it ain't growing. You bury the money. Everybody got to work. Birds work, bees work, your blood cells work. Everybody work. The flies work. The fishes work. Everybody got to work. Do you know Islam say 12%? Islam, you just get, 12% is a good rate. We just can't throw it out. It has to be part of an equation. Okay, it has to be quiet. You have to know why. Because sometimes 12%, you're taking a lot of risk and you want to take that risk. Maybe you could just do 8% and relax. Okay. So do you know The rate. And the reason why you need to know the rate that your money should be going, let me tell you why. All of us need to know when we save and invest that money, what type of return rate we should be receiving. Why you need to know that? Because let me tell you something. Money is not stagnant. What I mean by that, because the cost of goods and services is not stagnant. It don't stay still. Okay, so I know I went over your head, but let me explain to you, because a lot of you all did not take economics 101. 30 years ago, when a stamp, a postage stamp, cost 25 cents, let's just say, and instead of taking that postage stamp and put it on a letter 30 years ago, and because the stamp cost 25 cents, you said what you're going to do is take your 25 cents and you're going to put it under your mattress. And then 30 years later, now you're going to take that 25 cents and you're going to go to the post office and get a stamp. Well, 30 years later, you take the quarter and you figure you go into the post office and get one stamp, and they tell you the stamp costs 63 cents. So that means that your 25 cents did not grow the same as the value and the cost of a stamp. Your money is behind. They call it inflation, when your money is not keeping pace with the cost of things and stuff. That's what inflation is. So when you hoard money, or if you put your money in the bank, and the bank is paying you a half of 1%, but bread, gas, food, clothing, housing are continuing to go up 3% or more each year, that means your money is losing value, purchasing power every year. Now, if your money not growing at least 3%, which nobody if you got your money in a savings account, your money ain't growing at nothing. And if you got a lot of equity and your house paid off, your house, the money in the walls, certainly ain't growing at nothing, zero, because that's money in the dirt. It's not growing at nothing. I keep telling y'all, just because you have a house paid off and you have a lot of equity in your home or rental property, whatever, real estate values don't grow based on the equity. Real estate values always grow based on the appraised value. Whatever is it appraised at? What is it appraised at? That's what it is. They don't care about no mortgage. What is it appraised at? That's what is the value of the neighborhood. They don't care if you owe they don't care if you mortgage to him. What is the appraisal value? That's what it is. That's why you could take a house in one neighborhood, they said valued at $500,000. You take that same square footage house and you put that house on Star Island, they said that same raggedy, same house, don't do no upgrade, just lift it up, airlift it, put it on Star Island in Miami Beach, and now they say it's worth $5 million. The same exact house. And you take it and you put it back, you take it and put it in North Miami, it's not going to be worth $5 million. It's because it's appraised value, and the value is what we believe and what people will pay, and it's location. So it has nothing to do with the equity because your house paid off. When you constantly put more money to pay off your house, you putting your money in a black hole that you can't get to. If you become disabled, if you become sick, if you lose your job, you can't say, hey, I got all my house paid off, I need to go to Publix and get some milk. No, where your money at? And then what you gonna do? Go to the bank and say, I got my house paid off. I got emergency. I became disabled. Give me some money. They're going to say, well, how are we going to get our money back? And you're going to I took my money and put it into these walls. I paid the mortgage off. Mortgage company said, you got to qualify. Well, how your credit look? They're going to ask you all kind of questions. So that is a trick that we have been tricked. But I don't need to get off into that. Let's go back to why you need to know what rate of return your money should be keeping up with in order to take care of your lifestyle. Okay. The second question is that we need to know answer to is, how much should we be saving? Yeah. Each and every one of us, there is a number that each and every one of us should be saving per year in order to continue the lifestyle that we have right now. If you think you good, you think you're okay, hey, I'm fine. Okay, that's good. But that's 2025 numbers, fine. And 2025 numbers, fine and okay. It's going to be different from 2035 numbers. because you may be fine. You may be still eating that oatmeal and that same breakfast and that same egg and all that. But y'all see how egg prices are going up. So you might be fine, but the cost of living numbers have went up. You don't understand that? I'll give you a perfect example. 30, let me see, when it was 30 years ago, I bought a duplex for $70,000. A duplex for $70,000. Now, what if I would have said 30 years ago, what if I would have said, man, I ain't getting ready to take my $70,000 and buy no duplex. I'm going to take my $70,000 and put it in the bank and get 29 cents a month interest.
29,
now, 30 years ago,
29, and that wasn't percent.
that's pennies. That's pennies.
Hey, Rob, because I don't want nobody to misunderstand what you just said. Wasn't percent, 29.
That's right. So 30 years ago, I had a choice. I could take 70,000 and buy the duplex, 2-family property. I had a choice to take 70,000 and buy a duplex 30 years ago. I was 36 years old. Or I could have said, no, I ain't doing that. I could have took my 70,000 and I could just put it in the bank where I feel good, where I look at it and brag about I got $70,000 in the bank. And every year, they'd probably give me $200 interest on that 70,000. So $200 interest in 10 years would have been $2,200. In 30 years, it'd have been $6,600. So now I would have $76,600. So in 30 years, my 70,000 in the bank would have turned to 76,000. I'd have got 6,600 interest. And I'd have been saying, hey, shoot, at least I know where money is. I feel good. Or if you had did like what I did, that $70,000 duplex is worth $600,000 today. What I'm trying to bring out to you is time value of money. Right now, the amount of money that you have and what you living on, your savings have got to be able to grow like my $70,000 duplex in order to keep up 10, 20 years later in your lifestyle. Because right now, even though it's 2025, listen, a lot of us who are still alive, we do remember 2020. Some of us didn't make it, and a lot of us did. That was 5 years ago, 2020. You remember that. So when I say 10 years from today or 20 years from today, oh, that's coming by, babe. That's coming by. And if your money not working for you, oh my God. So you need to know how much your money, whatever you got, $1,000, $10,000, and you need to know how much you need to save. You need to know how much money you need to save in 2025 so you could live the same way in 2035 and in 2045, because 20 years coming by. And 20 years from now, it's going to be 2045. 20 years going to come by like a blink of an eye. And if your money today is not planted and you saving a certain amount of money, you're going to be a day late and $1 short. I promise you. This is economic. This is right. What I'm teaching you right now, this is what we need to know. This is why a lot of people work their butt off. They're working and they're doing 95% of y'all, but y'all don't understand the system. Y'all just working, but you don't understand what you're doing. There's a system. You need to know what rate of return your savings and investments should be earning. You need to know how much money you should be saving to continue your lifestyle when you get ready to retire. You need to know that. I could tell you that. If you meet with me, I could tell you exactly. You just tell me where you are right now. I could tell you what rate of return you should be saving. I could tell you how much money you should be saving right now in order to continue the lifestyle that you want to live for the rest of your life. Okay, I could tell you that. The other one is I could tell you based on where you are right now in your lifestyle, when you'll be able to retire and live the rest of your life. Now, what you want to know? See, a lot of y'all say y'all 65 years old, y'all 50 years old, y'all 60 years, y'all want to retire. See, retirement don't have nothing to do with no done number. James, people think just because they're at a certain age.
Oh, wow. I had this conversation.
They're gonna retire. James, is that the most cock up man? Who came up with that? Oh, I'm a certain age, I'm gonna retire. You ain't got no money. You've been eating all your nuts. You've been spending all your money, but now you just waiting on the time. You don't know. Retirement don't have nothing to do with age. Retirement you got enough saved. I mean, can you imagine? We're all squirrels, and some of us gathering our nuts. And we eating some and we putting some away. We eating some and we putting some. We squirrels. We eating some, we putting some away. Now here's another squirrel over there. They ain't saving nothing. They just eating all. They just eating all. They ain't saving nothing. And then they say, "Oh man, I'm gonna retire one day." What you gonna have? I'm gonna retire when I'm 65. Here's a squirrel that's gonna retire, eating off everything. Eating everything they got, just spending everything they got, getting cars, restaurants, clothes, all kind of stuff. Just keeping up with the Joneses, going on the cruises, doing all kind of stuff. Living right now. They living because they say, man, life ain't promising them. If you living like that, boy, you better hope you die. Because
that's the retirement. But
if you plan on, I want to live long. I'm gonna live long. Don't be talking about you want to live a long life. If you a squirrel and you eating all your nuts, because your long life, when you get up there, man, you're going to be messed up. You're going to be homeless. And when the robots coming out, listen, everybody cannot go be a security guard. Okay? Everybody can't say, I'm just going to be a security guard. No, the robots coming. They're going to eliminate security guard. They're going to have a little drones and all that stuff, man. You got the plan. So we know the answer to the four most important financial questions that we all need to know the answers to. One is what rate of return your money should be growing at. Secondly, how much money you should be saving now so in the future it's going to be good. See, 30 years ago, I took that $70,000 and bought a duplex, and right now it's worth $600,000, and I still got tenants. Okay, so that was good. That was good. I could have put that money in the mattress or put it in the bank, and now the $70,000 would have been worth $76,000, but I invested it. So it really did good. So now we know how much to save. Now, you need to know, when can you retire? Some people just want to retire because their friend retired and everybody left them. No, you can't do that. If you want to live your same lifestyle. And then the fourth answer to the question, if you don't do none of this stuff what I told, if you don't know the rate of return, if you don't know how much right now you should be saving, if you don't know when you can retire. So the fourth one is, I can tell you if you don't do nothing, if you don't listen, I can tell you how much you're going to have to cut back. You're going to have to sell that house and go live with your children. I could tell you how much you got to cut back in order to sustain yourself. I could tell you how much you're going to be hurting. We call this a GPS. You know, a GPS is like when you put in an address, it'll tell you exactly, it'll tell you the scenic road, it'll take you where it's an accident, especially you put in Waze. You know, you could actually, you want information. So I spent all last week, James, learning this program so I can give it to my clients, so I can program and say, listen, I can tell you, come see me, I can tell you how much money you need to save and how long it's going to last you. That's what I can tell you. Because 2025 is going to be different than 2035. The cost of goods and service, housing, everything, man. You can't keep on living in this time. You got to always be planting money so your money will be there for you and grow and have some muscles and purchasing power 10 years from now. And 20 years from now, let me tell you something. Remember I taught y'all the rule of 72?
Yes, sir.
If you put in 3%, let me tell you something. And whatever, if you retired, you say, man, I live off $10,000 a month. I'm good. What that $10,000 a month is going to have to 20 years from now, it's going to have to do the lifting of 20,000. It's gonna be equivalent to 20,000. That's what. So if your money not growing, so in 20 years, 24 years, it doubles the purchasing price, whatever it is. So in other words, a car right now that costs 30,000 right now, and 20 years from now, that same car gonna cost 60,000. A car right now that costs 80,000. Them trucks that everybody want to buy because you want to get a truck and don't want to really put nothing in it, just want to drive it because it's luxury. I want a truck. Them trucks cost $60,000, $70,000. I'm gonna tell you something. 20 years from now, the truck gonna cost $150,000. That same truck. It is. That's just time value of money. And a lot of us, we haven't been taught this because we said it was just too sophisticated and we let somebody else worry about it. But it's your life. It's your life. It's your life. What do you think, James? What do you think? You think they understand that?
Yes, I do. I really do, Rob, because need more in 2025 is going to wake up a lot of people, because that job that they thought they were secure in. I used to tell people all the time, there's a difference between your source and a resource. A job is a resource. It is not your source. God is my source. Everything else is just resources, rentals, what anything that generates revenue is a resource. But you've got to know the difference. And if you have been banking on on that retirement as being your source, and that big X that they put up, and they make it red, wrong answer. And Rob, this is what you're saying. So, but the first thing that a person has to be willing to do is don't look in the mirror. Call somebody. Let somebody else look at you. Because if you look in the mirror, you're going to see that you look good. Regardless of how you look. You're going to say, oh, yeah, I look good. Maybe I need a haircut. I had a neighbor walk past me the other day, Rob. She said, I wouldn't know this lady if she was the only person standing in the line. I wouldn't know who she was. She said, "Oh, you cut your hair." I said, "Oh, you noticed."
You didn't even know her.
No, Rob didn't even
She was
know.
noticing you.
See, Rob, again, and our awakening comes not so much because we wake up. Our awakening comes because we learn something we don't know that
That's
will
right.
help us, to prepare for a time that we've never seen. Robert, we knew what happened yesterday with us. Whatever we did, we can tell you, well, we did this, we did this, we did this. And yesterday was today yesterday.
That's right. Time.
Right. And yesterday was tomorrow. But we don't call today tomorrow. We call today today.
Right.
So, it is an awakening. I mean, and it's not going out because we see how many years did it take for MJ to sell that mansion that nobody would buy that he built in Atlanta? I think was it Atlanta or someplace, wherever it was. He built this big house. And I think Mike Tyson did the same thing. And 50 Cent, 15 bedrooms, 18 bedrooms. Come on, Rob. Rob, do you live in an 18-bedroom house, Rob?
No, man, too much dust. No.
Rob, do you live in a 15-bedroom house, Rob?
No. I don't need one bed for me.
Come on, Rob, and particularly for people who want to plan to invest, for those who, hey, and really, we never stop investing. We never stop investing because you should be, if you don't care about yourself, there's somebody, I don't know who it could be. It could be your son, your daughter, your wife, your spouse, whatever, your mother. There's somebody that you love. I won't even put you out there and say more than yourself, but there's someone that you love as much as you love yourself, and you would love for them too to be able to say, wow, at least I got to step up. I
Yeah.
got a heads up, you know. And
Well, you
and
know,
so answering those 4 questions, Rob, is going to take people calling the Henderson Financial Group because it's not the same for everybody. You
no,
know,
it's not.
it's not that's the other thing. You know, I, I'm not trying to live like Rob. Rob's not trying to live like me. You know, hey, but guess what? We can both help somebody.
Yeah.
You know, wherever we are in life, you can reach
Everybody
out and
numbers is
serve.
going to be everybody numbers are different because everybody live
Different.
a different lifestyle. Everybody like to you know, live a certain way, you know. So if you call the office, I definitely get an appointment. We can do virtual, we can do, you know, Zoom, whatever. Norbit, it's your time. You're right, Norbit. Send me a text or call me, Norbit, so I can get you in. So I can get you in this week, Norbit. But we need to know that, and this is your life. This really is your life. And this administration is kind of giving you a wake up call that anything can happen. You can't just automatically assume. You have to be proactive. You
Ooh,
have to be
Rob,
proactive, and
Rob, that's powerful. That's
yeah, you have to
powerful.
be.
That
You cannot
we
assume.
we're assuming things are going to continue to be as things have always been. No, come on, that's not true. you know, just because you've been there to that place for 25 years, 30 years, 40 years, hey, come on. Well, as a matter of fact, because I've been watching as little TV as I possibly can, because I've been busy, but the other thing is, yeah, I don't want I don't want the poison. I don't want to be wishy-washy, as they say. Well, it could be this, it could be that. This is legal. That's not. Well, if this happens, if you get no, you're not let go. You're being told to retire. But what if you are not the age of retirement and they're telling you that you need to leave your job or be fired?
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff that's going through people's mind and got people all depressed and anxiety. You know, you got to step away from that. If each and every one of us take care of ourselves, because in all the studying, if someone asks you, you know, what are you studying? Your answer should be, I'm studying myself.
Hmm.
That's the greatest thing that you can do. Each and every one of us can do is study ourselves, study our habits, study our fears, study our strengths, study our weaknesses. We really need to study ourselves and make ourselves do the things that we know we ought to do. You know, Islam, James says, Islam said, Gruber, hey, Rob, why do we still have a retirement crisis in America? She says, according to AARP, 1 in 5 Americans aged 50 plus have no retirement savings, and over half worry they will not have enough
I have enough.
to
Yeah.
last them for retirement. And that's because they don't know the answers
To
to the
those four
4
questions.
most important financial questions that we all need to know. Now, why we don't know? Because we don't ask. In the good book, the scripture says, if you don't ask, it's going to be really hard for you to receive. I mean, really, 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 um, it's going to be hard. She says President Biden did great financially for the country. You know, it's 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 up to us. You gotta, when you become an adult, you gotta start wising up. Now, I always said when you get at least 40 years old, you should have did that, done that, got a t-shirt, got married, got in jail, went to jail, married the wrong person. You know what I mean? Had too many kids. Studied the wrong career. But even at 40, you can change. You can change, you can back up. And the good thing about backing up is like you're going the wrong way. Let's turn this ship around. You can do that. And you have to have the courage to do that and get right. You can be married to the wrong man or woman. You can say, okay, I can't take no more. I'm out of here. You can have it all. I did that when I was in my early 20s. I married a girl because I got her pregnant, and I married her, and she just thought I was a little square, a Poindexter, and she went out and partied. And I said, hey, you know what? You can have the property, you can have the bank, you can have everything. God bless you. And she was happy. So she figured like, oh my God. And I said, let me start over. I turned this ship around. and I prospered and prospered and prospered. She's not so much. Okay. So I'm saying you never get to a point. I don't care if you're 50 years old, you're 60 years old right now. If you're listening to this program, if you're listening to the words that come out of my mouth, that means that there is something for you to do. It's not over. It's not over until you say it's over. But if you say, I don't care if you're 80 years old, if you're listening to me, you coming to me, you saying, Robert, I need you because I heard something you said, then that means it's something for me to do for you spiritually. The Creator said, here, listen to this black dude with them glasses on. He know what he's talking about. He's my son, and I'm going to direct him to help you in the areas that you need. But you got to be obedient. You got to listen, and you got to make the first step. You're grown enough. It's nobody else's excuse. You can't say nobody told me. I'm telling you right now, there's something for you to do, and you have to do it. You have to love yourself. And when you love yourself, you love in your family, believe it or not. Because when you love in yourself, everybody watches. Like James didn't even know the lady was watching him, his hair. When he cut his hair, you notice it. You always, whatever you do with your life affects the people who love you, the people who care, the people who are watching you. It really, really, really does. That's why you can read some gossip stuff about movie stars, entertainers, and then people in the barbershop talking about them. People don't even know them, but they're talking about somebody else's situation. You know, they're talking about LeBron James and then the Heat or the Heat and they arguing about who's this and who gonna win. That's the silliest stuff in the world. That has nothing to do with you. That's like you've been arguing about some TV show who gonna do this and do that. That's why they asking about who gonna win the Super Bowl. I don't care. You know how much money people making playing the Super Bowl, and you arguing about who gonna he her. I don't give a damn about no Super Bowl. I'll watch it.
You know? Rob, you said something that I don't want people to go past that speed bump when you say they need to read and study. And you said you need to study yourself.
That's right.
That's in the book. It says, to thine own self be true. And if you know, that's why people say, oh, you need to look in the mirror. I know that's a metaphor. And you're saying take a look at yourself. But no. Sometimes you're looking in the mirror does not give you the true picture. So what you need to do is, as you said, Rob, ask, seek, and knock. You need to ask somebody that you believe that could assist you. And there's nothing wrong. As a matter of fact, Rob, that too is in that book. Seek, knock, ask. Come on. You know, hey, even if you think you know, be assured, you know, that you're on the right track and that you're doing the right thing, because there could be other things that you can do. Even though you're doing good, what do we want to do, Rob? We want to do better and we want to do best. But that's just for today. Tomorrow, no matter what we're doing, that's good. We still want to do better.
That's right.
You know, and so I really think that that's where it starts. And sometimes, yes, you do need to have someone close to you to support you or to push you. But if you don't have that person, yeah, hey, you know, step out. You know, hey, when you did learn the difference between walking and crawling, and you started walking, hey, you didn't want nobody to hold your hand. Right? Rob, you wanted to, hey, show that you could stand up and walk. So come on, financially, Rob, if we don't, but believe me, yeah, hey, we're gonna be like a third world country if we don't wake up and do for us. I mean, and I'm talking about living in America. And that's not the movie. Living in America, you could be living like you're in a third world country if you do not start today and preparing for what you can become. Because, oh, God created us to be the best. He created us in his image. So we shouldn't be begging nobody. Nobody. Yep. Rob, nope. I ain't begging nobody for no damn job.
Well, most people, you know, they retire too early. You know, I was listening to a CEO of BlackRock, the largest investment firm in the world. This guy's 72 years old. You know what he said, James? He says, people got it all wrong. He says, that's retiring at age 65 was a long time ago. The cost of living And the way people are saving, people can't retire at 65 years old. He's 72 and he's still working, and he's a billionaire. And that's something. He's 72, he's still working, and he's a billionaire. And he said he just don't understand. Somebody been told the wrong information, or they're thinking the wrong information. So we run out of time, so I want to segue to this one, and I want to talk about life insurance, IUL. Y'all know IUL is one of my favorite insurance strategies, Index Universal Life. Everybody in my office have it. All my children have it. I learned so much about it. It's an incredible type of plan because it's like a Swiss Army knife. It takes care of a whole lot. It's a defense for a whole lot, not just for death, but also for living. You can save, and it's a nice return. You have access to your money. It's really a good thing. I had a lady that come into my office and was going over her whole financial plan, and she was making sure that her husband and everybody for her life insurance. We had got a life insurance, that everything is on par. And then I asked about her husband. Her husband don't have any life insurance. And I said, I told him to get some, or if he wanted to get it with me or talk to him. And she says, no, he just refused. He just haven't got any life insurance. Let me tell you something. Anytime you have a significant other and they refuse to get life insurance, they're showing you, they're talking to you. That is something, because my wife Natalie had a good friend, and they used to go to the gym together. And her husband worked for Dade County administration, and this guy he's a CPA too, in accounting. And this guy went to Home Depot and he had a heart attack. He died, and when he died, his wife contacted me. They wasn't clients. It was just my wife Natalie's friend, and she contacted me because she wanted to, he died, and she wanted to see exactly how things gonna, how she's gonna live. Come to find out, he had no life insurance, not even with the county. He had no life insurance. Eventually, what she had to do was sell a house and move with her kids to Alabama. She didn't want to do it. She's very heartbroken, not only for her husband to die, but she's had no money, and matter of fact, she was a housewife. So that was that he really didn't care about insuring. Let me tell you something, nobody knows the time and the hour. But if you don't have sense enough or love enough for your family to have some sort of life insurance protection, shame on you. It really is. And you should look in the mirror and study yourself. You should have something on yourself instead of waiting for, that your family gonna have to do a GoFundMe. And that's an embarrassing thing for a whole lot of people, because it says that you've been very, very bad steward with your money. You don't need a lot. I had a friend that called me the other day, and he says, listen, Robert, I need $200,000 life insurance on myself. And I say $200,000. He says, I said, okay, well, first of all, he said two or 300,000. He's 66 years old. And he says, I want $300,000 life insurance. I said, okay, well, how much can you afford to pay a monthly? He said, man, I can't only pay no more than $100. James, when he said that he couldn't really afford to pay no more than $100. I remember being kids, and $100 was something. When I was 16 years old, it wasn't that much. When I was 16, I'm 66 years old. He is too. This guy said for life insurance, he couldn't afford nothing more than $100, and he works every day. I'm trying to figure out what the heck is he doing with his money. People go out to dinner and spend $100. He said he couldn't. So anyway, I ran a quote and I said $100. He can get $40,000 a year. He can get $40,000 for coverage. Now, I know a lot of y'all thinking about that colonial stuff and all that term. We're not talking about that, because that cheap, listen, when you can get an insurance policy and it's $10 and $12 a month, it's not permanent insurance. There's a time on that. They're saying if you don't die in 10 years, your money, all this money going. It's term. A term is an insurance policy that says that in order to collect, you have to be dead at a certain time. None of us know how long. What if you outlive that time? What if you get a 10-year term or a 20-year term and you still alive? That means all the money that you put in per month is going down the drain. You might as well have gave it to me. And I'll say, I'll pay you for your funeral when you die. I do that. Matter of fact, all y'all who don't want to get no life insurance, send me y'all money monthly. Y'all pay me $100 and I'll pay for your funeral. So my point is that I got to call him and tell him, say, listen, man, in order to get $200,000 life insurance permanent and still have a savings, it's gonna cost you about $450 a month. That's for $200,000. And then if he died, James, how long do you think $200,000 can last him and his wife and his children? Come on, people make $200,000 a year and they can't work 1 year and live for the rest of their lives. So how you think getting $200,000 in 1 year only your family can live the rest of their life? No,
but Rob, that's the mistake that we make of living in, first of all, our own minds, our imagination. We think that, and we haven't sat down. We don't look at a budget. We don't probably people don't know how much they spend. They don't know. Yeah, they have no idea how much money they spend a week, a month, a year, or whatever.
And they don't care.
Right.
They don't care.
Oh man, it's it's a job. Hey, life is not just take a deep breath. Hey, take another deep breath. Life is to be lived, but it does take work to live a good life, sound health, peace of mind, freedom from fear and worry. Those things, it just don't happen because you breathe it and you got a pulse.
Well, that's only if you want, James, that's only if you want to live and if you want the type of life that you and I are talking about. A lot of people just don't care. I mean, you got a guy that smoked 5 packs of cigarettes a day. I mean, what are you telling him? I mean, it's really, a lot of people say one thing but do another. Their thoughts and their actions do not align. What we're saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, if you want a better life, if you want to do better, there's opportunity for you, but it's something for you to do. All you got to do first is call 305-825-1444, and I'll break it down to you like a 6-year-old if you want to. But if you don't want to, then I understand, and you be silent and keep doing what you're doing. And there's a lot of people, James, that are sad. A lot of people spend all of their money. They eat all of their nuts like a squirrel. They ain't saving nothing. And they just saying, hell, let the chips fall where they made. There's a lot of people that are doing that. And I understand. But the Henderson Financial Group, we only want the people who want more, who want better. Because there's good, better, best, and you should never let that rest until your good become your better and your better become your best. If you want more, if you want help, those are the people who the Henderson Financial Group, that's who we want as clients. Because people who don't even want to save or get a life insurance for their loved ones, I don't understand that. Now, like I said, I don't really like death insurance. Death insurance means that you're putting into a policy that you're never going to live and benefit from. I don't like that. I like life insurance so that I can benefit while I'm alive. And those type of the only life insurance that I regularly advise people to get, a policy that you can actually use the money that you actually put into the plan. Now, some people say they can't qualify. Some people can't. But if you can't qualify, if you got a wife, if you got a child, they can qualify.
Boom. Come on.
You can put it in their names.
Yes.
And you can still save the money. There's strategy that if you want help, there's strategy to do it. There's strategy, but you got to stop leaning on your understanding. And the thing about it is, James, most people get their advice from the cousins, shade tree mechanics. They get they for friends, beauty parlor, the co-workers. A lot of people get advice from people who are not rich or wealthy. I don't understand that. I mean, listen, if you want to learn how to grow hair, you come to Robert Henderson, you think I'm gonna be able to tell you how to grow hair and I ain't got none? Come on. It's like here's a man 500 pounds. You want to go to him so he can tell you how to lose weight. No. You have the law of demonstration. What do you have? How can you gonna tell me something? And a lot of people listen to people who ain't got nothing. It is amazing. Most people take advice from other people who don't know nothing. They really, really do. Especially about retirement and what to plan and what to do. Should you take the lump sum? Should you roll over? There's so many people don't understand that process. And so many people make the mistake. There's so many people. They said 90% of people have the wrong Medicare plan. They have the wrong Medicare plan. They said 90% of people have the wrong Medicare plan. Why? Because whoever called them, whoever looked good, slick enough, talk, that's the plan they take. They have the wrong plan according to what their needs in order to get the best for themselves. Isn't that amazing? So that tells you there's a lot of misinformation and people don't ask questions. If you want to know Medicare, if you want to know that, call the Henderson Financial Group. You want to know retirement? We're full service financial planning firm. 305-825-1444. 1444. 305-825-1444. You can go to our website also, and that's www.thehendersonfinancialgroup.com. www.thehendersonfinancialgroup.com.
Robert, and don't say that you don't have time. Don't take the time. Hey, you were talking about trucks earlier, and of course, I was told that when people get something, because I've never owned a truck before, and so I have a truck now. So I took the manual out. So I'm going page by page, just to know about a truck. I want to know more about a truck. Now, not that I'm going to repair it, or anything like that, but I just want to know more. And I probably am not going to read every page in it, but I'm just saying, because I had to even practice parking a truck because I'd never parked a truck with a bed on the back of it or whatever the case may be. Yeah,
There's a lot to learn about a truck, boy. There's a lot to know.
right. And so I'm saying, folks, come on, hey, now is the time. And don't keep it to yourself. Share with someone. And share with somebody that you love. And then if they don't listen, find somebody who listens. And particularly, man, I who I'm most fearful for, Rob? Not the people who think that they don't need it, don't care, whatever. I'm fearful for those babies that we're having, the children, that because they're gonna grow up in a totally different world. We've seen the world change in our lifetime. They haven't had that experience of having lived as we've lived, and to know the difference and to make the sacrifice and to say, wait a minute, it's not about living for the right now, but it is about preparing, because hey, I really don't know where the indigent is going to go. I pulled up today and I see cardboard, and I'm saying, what is cardboard doing on the sidewalk, whatever. I look over the little thing there, and there's a little, so hey, somebody homeless slept out in the open air. They had cardboard and a little thing. Hey, I mean, and they could be as wealthy as anybody, but if in their own mind they believe that they're homeless or they believe that they have nothing, that's the kind of life that they live, Rob.
Yeah.
And I'm telling us, we have it tells us we have everything we need to live a godly life. That's not James T. saying that. That's what scripture tells us. He gave us everything we need. Now, the choice is, what do you choose to do with what you have been given so that you could live a better life? Check out the Henderson Financial Group. I'm sure you'll be better because of it. Even if you only learn what you didn't know and you didn't decide, as they said, you went to the doctor, he diagnosed you, gave you the medication, you went to the pharmacy, got the medicine, and when you got home, I'm not going to take that medicine.
Yeah, that's right.
But my head is still hurting. I'm not going to take the medicine, but my head is still hurting.
Somebody told me to eat some garlic. My friend told me to eat some garlic, so they ate the garlic. And the next thing you know, we have a funeral for them.
Yeah, get some aloe. Say aloe and moringa is good for everything. So hey, make your tea.
Next week, James, I'm going to talk to the people educate you about the pros and cons of an annuity.
Woo!
The pros and the cons of an annuity. What is an annuity? I like annuities, James, but annuities is just a tool in the toolbox. Just like as if I was going to talk about hammers. I like hammers. I like a hammer in a toolbox, and the hammer is good for when you need a hammer. A hammer is not good when you need to screw a screw in. You know, you don't need a hammer. So I'm going to talk to you about when should you have an annuity, what our annuities are for, when you shouldn't have an annuity, and when you have the wrong type of annuity. So next week we're going to talk about the pros and the cons of owning an annuity and what type of annuity. So when I talk about that, I want you all, we have a toolbox, and we have a toolbox of different investments. So metaphorically, you know, when you have a toolbox, you have a drill in there. You know, you have a flathead screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver. You know, you have some pliers in there. You know, you have different type of tools, even a saw in there. You know, then you have a wrench in there. You know, there's different tools in order to build something. If you're a carpenter, if you're a builder, well, in financial planning, there's different tools and vehicles in order to get you to your financial place that you need to be. You have there's certain tools that you use. You maybe annuity, maybe there's IUL, maybe it's term life. But term life, you see, most people use term the wrong way. I like term for short term. I like term. See, most people have term and they stay too long. The problem with having term life insurance is 99% of the people stay too long. It's like we getting ready to take a road trip, James, and we said we're going to drive to Warner Robins. And James, when we ride to Warner Robins, me, you, and Antonio, we get on that turnpike. We don't just go from South Florida to Warner Robins, you know, 7-8 hour drive. What we do is we say we're going to drive, then we're going to stop at the turnpike to use the restroom, you know, maybe get a salad or get a refreshment or something like that. So term insurance is temporary. You don't stay in the restroom. You don't stay there. Why? Because we got to get going. Most people, James, when they buy term insurance, they use it, they buy it for 30 years. You can't have no 30-year term insurance. Man, come on. That's like me, just like you and I getting on the expressway, and we're gonna go to the rest stop on the turnpike, and we ain't coming out for 30 years. We will never get we will never reach our goal. We ain't never 30, like what James and Robert, man, they still on the turnpike in the rest stop. It's been 30 years, they still in there. When you buy term, that's what you're doing. I'm not against term, but you staying too long, and nobody. I want a 30-year rest stop. I want a 30-year term.
Okay, Rob. I hear Linda saying, the people saying, "Okay, Rob, I got it. No, but Rob, whether you're a handyman, you need more tools than just a hammer, and if you're a makeup artist, you need more tools than just the hair. Yeah, you may need the cream. Yeah. So hey, so ladies and guys, Robert's going to help us to put more in our toolbox so that we can have a better life
and learn, and so you can learn which tool to use. So next week, be here because I'm going to tell you the pros and cons of an annuity. And I'm going to teach you. I'm going to talk to you like a 6-year-old. I'm going to give you metaphors so you can remember it, okay? Next week, we're going to talk about. So be here. Tell your friends to sign on. Man, James, I see that Al Shaw, my man, AC. What's up, AC?
Oh, wow. Much love. Yeah, I spoke with him earlier this week. Hey, by the way, here's what I'd love for people to do before we do our prayer, Rob, and get out. I'd love for you to say the name of someone in your local community. You know, you can do as many names as you want. But I really just want to do that. And I'm going to join the chat too today. I'm going to put in some names. Just put in a name after we go off or whenever, you know, put in, well, do it now. Put in some names of some people that stood out in your community. It could have been a teacher. It could have been a coach. It could have been the barber. You know, hey, Rob, we had barbershops. I mean, there were people, in our community, we had all our needs met by people from our community at one time in our lives. Okay. So if you would just enter some of the names of some of the people as we celebrate and honor Black History Month, some of those local heroes and sheroes that helped to build our community that you know of, or helped you to be better in your life. You know, so if you'll do that for us, we would certainly appreciate it. And Mr. Henderson, hey, we're glad to have you back, you know, from your 4-day excursion of work and learning and teaching. Yeah,
that's right.
Oh, by the way, folks, let me just say this to you. The reason Mr. Henderson goes to a lot of these conferences is because people want to hear what he is sharing with you. And many of the people who come to the conferences, they're not coming free. So the conferences are not free for everybody, you know, but they are coming to learn, and they know that it's worth the investment. So it's worth your investment of your time, and we thank you for it. Our time is up. We thank you for yours.
That's right. We need prayer, brothers. Send us
Okay.
off.
Oh, my brother sent a great one today. So I do this in honor of my brother John, Angus Davis. He says, "May God the Father and our Lord Jesus Christ give us grace and peace. Jesus gave his life for our sins, just as God, our Father, planned in order to rescue us from this evil world in which we live. All glory to God forever and ever. Amen." And that comes from Galatians 1:3-5. Be blessed, everybody, and mostly be safe. Be safe.
Fantastic. Let the church say amen. Listen, we got to go. And listen, y'all be safe for Super Bowl weekend and take care of yourself. Much love. Peace. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Until next Saturday, take care of yourself. Peace, love, and so